0 to 60? No. No. I'm at Toyota headquarters here in Plano, Texas for HQC 2025. Toyota's had so many battery electric announcements, including this BZ. They've had the BZ Woodland, the CHR, the Lexus ES 500e, and so many more. But guys, we're gonna talk about the massive improvements here with this vehicle. What used to be called the BZ4X, now just called the BZ. Toyota knew that they had so much backlash from the naming that they chopped off the 4X and just left it BZ, meaning it still means beyond zero. Toyota's initiative to be fully carbon neutral by 2050 or something like that. But guys, let's talk about the styling. Huge improvements on the styling. We have the hammerhead design now, the kind of wraparound lights. We have a light bar in the front. You also have the headlights down below. This is the new design language on Toyota's EVs, and it is looking quite impressive. I believe this is the blueprint color, a sparkly dark blue. Looks great. Now, you can get the option to get paint matched wheel arches now. Previously, they're all this black color or matte black or glossy black. No, matte black was the Subaru variant of that, so they've all been glossy black. Well, this one still has a glossy black. You can get in paint match. We have new wheel designs. These are 20-inch wheels here on this Limited. When we come to the back, no more 4X, just BZ, all-wheel drive model. So guys, this is big. I want to talk about the upgrades here. I've talked about the upgrades with the naming, the upgrades with the styling, but let's pop the hood because it doesn't have an engine. It has a couple electric motors. It has massive upgrades, guys, in terms of power and efficiency compared to the previous generations. These are the second generation e-axles and inverters here. You might be able to see down there that says Blue Nexus. That's Toyota's joint venture, and this is Toyota Industries. See that blue logo? Toyota's currently thinking about buying out Toyota Industries. Anyways, a lot of stuff going on in the background here. But that e-axle has been co-developed with Aishin and Denso, Toyota's two biggest suppliers out of Japan. This thing is built in Japan. We have silicon carbide semiconductors, if I said that right, which improves efficiency. Guys, the old BZ 4X all-wheel drive had like 220 some horsepower, something like that. All right, don't remember off the top of my head. It was quick, but it ran out of steam after the initial torque punch. They've increased the range while giving you a ton more power. We have 338 horsepower now in the dual motor. If you want the front wheel drive, you can get it. This has a 74.7 kilowatt hour battery pack. We have around 268 miles of range, somewhere around there on this all-wheel drive model. So we have about something like 50 more miles of range compared to the previous all-wheel drive, and we have about over 100 more horsepower. So you can have your cake and eat it too. We also have updated, this thing's hot. I gotta drop it, my hand's burning. We also have updated charging. Here it is. So now it comes with the North American charging standard. You can charge this at Tesla superchargers now. And you don't even need to get your phone out or an app out or your wallet out. You should be able to plug and charge, and it should be a very seamless experience. All right, still only 150 kilowatts of charging capacity, but they've improved the preconditioning. So when you are on your way to the charger, you can precondition the battery to make sure it's the optimal temperature to maintain peak charging rates. So charging is massively improved here in cold weather and warm weather, any sort of weather. It's so much better than it was on the previous BZ4X. All right, there have been some improvements on the inside as well, so let's go and get in there. The back seat real quick, as we got an electric vehicle coming. There's a white BZ with the paint matched wheel arches, looks good. As we get into the back seat, soft touch materials up top on the Limited model, and we get in the back seat, perforated rear synthetic leather. I think they call it Softex heated rear seats, USB-Cs. This is very similar to the BZ Woodland that I was in earlier. Can't wait for that vehicle, by the way. Vents, honestly, it feels very similar to the BZ Woodland. I think this is also a big improvement. I'm not gonna, we have this glass roof here. It's Texas. I'm not gonna open up the glass roof. I'm already sweating. But I believe the previous BZ4X had a fat bar that came across. All right, I'll show you. So as we open this up, that fat bar is gone. And it was strange why we had that fat bar. Now it's just a big old roof. I like it. This is so much more premium feeling. but I'm gonna close it because you guys know it's gonna get toasty in here. Great headroom back here. Let's get in the front seat and we'll take this for a drive. See how quick this thing is, see how efficient it is. Good materials, again, pretty basic. Now, I was in a red one earlier, a front wheel drive red one, and it had like this two-tone white and black interior, which was kind of cool looking. All right, this is much more neutral. Honestly, I like how like basic this seat is. A little bit of piping. These seats actually feels fairly similar to the seats in like the Crown sedan, for example. They're really, really soft. Auto folding mirrors. As we get on the inside, we still don't have a glove box, but you have the optional radiant heater, which is going to improve your your efficiency, your energy efficiency in this vehicle in cold climates. This is all new. So we have 2 wireless chargers. This has been reworked as well, I think just slightly, but it doesn't feel that much different in here. We have a new 14-inch screen. They got rid of the physical climate controls. Not that excited about that. We have rotary dials here. This is essentially plopped out of a Lexus NX or RX. This is it's exactly the same thing. This is strange because we have this big bezel and the screen's only about 7 inches like we see in the Prius. So you have this big bezel. So it's only going to be a matter of time before this 7-inch screen gets replaced by a 12-inch screen that spans the entire length of this plastic piece. So have a digital rearview mirror. Quite like that. And this is my view, so I can see right over the steering wheel at that display. I like it. Some people don't like how this steering wheel is too close to that display, but just lower your steering wheel. I like a low steering wheel anyways, so yeah, the lower the better. It's easier to just rest your hand on and move around. But we also have a new console that opens from both sides. I don't remember that being a thing last time. And guys, oh, look at this, J1772. Is that what this is? Yeah, J1772. That's a traditional level 2 charger. Here it comes with an adapter. This is your NACS. You just plug this into your car, and then a traditional J1772 level 1, level 2 charger will fit into that. I like the Lexus branding there. I mean, it's funny because we're in a Toyota, but Toyota's on the other side. There you go. You get a Lexus emblem in your in your BZ non-4X. All right, assistant parking feature here, which I'm never going to use. Windshield wiper washer, which is quite nice, and I like the materials up here on the dash. Not quite as nice as that BZ woodland, which is kind of like a fake wood, but I really like the materials in here, and I like the old BZ4X interior, and that was controversial for some of you guys who don't like this interior, but I like it. I'm comfortable in here and it's simple to use. So let's start driving. All right, taking off in the BZ, I'm going to call it the 4X. The BZ, we have different regen braking in here, which I really appreciate. And I'm going to reset my energy efficiency here because I'm really curious on what we can get in this updated dual motor. I think I was getting about 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour with the last dual motor in and around town. The front wheel drive, I remember being ridiculously efficient, like 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, they also have a smaller battery pack for the front wheel drive model. I think somewhere around 58 kilowatt hours, something like that. That is not going to have the best range. It's around 200 miles, maybe a little bit over. But that's going to have your best efficiency by far. It's going to be the lightest one. And so if you don't need a ton of range and you want to save a little bit of money and you don't need all-wheel drive or the performance of all-wheel drive, get the smaller battery pack with front-wheel drive and get crazy energy efficiency. I bet I can get 5 miles per kilowatt hour in town with that front-wheel drive small battery pack, which there's one here. So if I get a chance to drive it, I'll drive it. All right. The previous BZ4X had 72 kilowatt hour battery pack. We got about 2 extra kilowatt hours here, and I have paddle shifters to adjust my regen braking, and I like the most aggressive regen braking here. I don't have to use my brake pedal as much. I still prefer one pedal driving, but Toyota and Lexus still don't offer one pedal driving, but it is, it is implemented well here. You have 4 different levels, or possibly 4, it looks like 4 different levels of regen braking. This has been updated as well. It tells me my battery percentage. I remember being in a BZ4X when they first came out, and they didn't even tell you battery percentage. They just told you estimated range. It was really bizarre. Okay, so they've really improved the software over the years on this vehicle. We have a bigger screen. Now it's really just a 12-inch screen like we had last time, because 2 inches, the bottom 2 inches of this screen, or more, it might be more, is climate control. And you can't get rid of the climate control. It's always on. Which is fine because I have access to it at all times, and it's getting kind of warm in here. And that's the thing with these vents now being lower, or seemingly lower. They're not hitting me in the face where I want it to be. So that's something to think about with these low vents. I'm gonna take a left here. Regenerative braking limited. Press brake to decelerate. I don't know why it said that. It could be because the battery's too full. Toyota and Lexus, they prioritize at the highest level the longevity and the health of the battery. So I remember that in the BZ4X launch a few years back in 2021, 2022, whenever that vehicle came out. If the battery is full, they wouldn't let you use the regen braking, all right, because they didn't want to overstimulate the battery and reduce its potential longevity. So I do have the drag meter out, and once I get a chance at some flat land, I can't believe how hilly and twisty this area is, but once I get some flat area, we'll try to do a 0 to 60 here with an extra 120 some horsepower compared to the old BZ all-wheel drive. Like, this thing is going to feel like a missile. I think on paper it's supposed to be able to come close to 5 seconds, maybe even faster. So I'm really excited to see what this thing is capable of eking out. Now, I don't have like a sport mode that I'm aware of. I have like X mode, which is from the Subaru end of the deal. I also have an eco mode here, which is probably going to limit my AC, which I don't want because it's 86 right now. So I don't want to limit my AC. This is still one of the more comfortable EVs in the segment. There's no weirdness to it. It feels really refined. Obviously, an EV, it's really quiet. There's hardly any harshness in the ride, even though it's a heavy BEV. I had the lights off. That's why I didn't have the lights off. The lights were off during my walk around, so you guys didn't get the cool DRL effect. So I apologize for that. That's a rookie mistake, Kirk Kreifels. Going really slow, like 35 miles an hour, it says I'm getting 7 miles per kilowatt hour. But wait till I start hammering this thing and testing it. This does have a 360 camera as I was inching onto the back bumper of that Odyssey there. Let's just get around. Like, gosh, just half pedal and you're just gone. Half pedal feels about the same acceleration as the new front wheel drive model. Okay, the front wheel drive model gets 221 horsepower, which is like a 20 horsepower upgrade over the base front wheel drive model that it replaces. All right, now this road's not perfect. I feel it with these 20-inch wheels. It is a bit bumpy, but I think that's more of the road's fault than the car's fault, to be honest. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to do a 0 to 60 here once this goes green. There's a little bit of downhill, a little bit of uphill, so in theory, it'll equal out. I'm gonna guess, and you guys can guess too, and then edit your answer. If you're truthful, I'm gonna guess 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, we're just gonna give this thing the full beans when this goes green, and this. I think I'm like, on a launcher next to me is gonna get dusted, and this Sentra, I think it's the Sentra next to me is going to get roasted from this family crossover. Oh, I lost the camera, and we're already on the back of this BZ. Oh my God, that was 70. Oh my gosh. This thing is so fast. Holy crap. It has so much power and torque that I lost my camera. That was crazy. I don't even know what the 0 to 60 was on that. And it's been a while since I've lost my camera, guys. So I'm gonna have to pull over real quick here, and we're gonna have to get my camera situated. That was crazy. 0 to 60? No. Okay, well they're saying because it was downhill, they're saying 4.33. 4.33? That can't be right, guys. We got to test this again. Did the downhill effect have that big of a boost to the 0 to 60? I mean, the BZ4X went from like an okay accelerating EV, like very mediocre, to potentially just a rocket. That was fast. That was really fast. Wow, I am kind of like speechless. Now, this doesn't get the full horsepower effect that we see in the BZ Woodland. The BZ Woodland is going to have 375 horsepower, so what, like about 40 horsepower more than this, which should give it a 0 to 60 in like 4.5 seconds. All right, 0 to 60 again. My gosh, this is fast. Guys, it must be good. Like, that was not as much downhill. It looks straight to my eyes. They said it was a negative 1.6% slope. Guys, that was 4.48 seconds, 0 to 60. I think this is on a flat plane, probably 4.6 seconds, 0 to 60, which is way faster than the RZ 450E that is still going to be on sale. It's faster than the Ioniq 5, which is plenty fast. Like, this thing just went from like meh to a rocket. The BZ4X is a mid 4 second 0 to 60 car. Like, I still can't believe the 1 year difference from a 25 to a 26 BZ model. It's not a BZ4X anymore, but you know what I mean. Like, it is now an absolute missile of an EV. And I can't imagine with the BZ Woodland, like with the extra 40 horse, that thing's going to be crazy fast. Wow, that's cool. All right, I want to keep doing 0 to 60s in here because I just don't believe it. I just don't believe that this car is as fast as my meter is telling me. I just don't believe it. It feels that fast though. Honestly, it feels that fast. Its torque and power off the line it's immense. Okay, so here we go. This is probably a little bit flatter here, and go. Spinning the wheels, guys. It's fighting for traction. That was pretty much dead flat there. 0 to 60 in 4.59. So it's a legitimate 4.6 0 to 60. Toyota estimates 4.9. It's 4.6 0 to 60. I'm done. I'm done doing stupid 0 to 60 tests because, like, once you own this vehicle, you're never doing 0 to 60s. You use that power and torque to get around people, to accelerate onto the highway and stuff, but 4.6 seconds. The BZ just went from like an okay EV to like one of the best. It doesn't charge the most, but now I can honestly consider it alongside of like an Ioniq 5. And I think I like the looks now of the BZ, maybe slightly more of the Ioniq 5, but then if you don't, you can get the BZ Woodland. You can get the CHR in just a few months after this launch. All right, so Toyota, 338 horsepower, yeah, it's impressive. Okay, 0 to 60, honest, a 4.6 second. Now, it says I'm still getting 5.7 miles per kilowatt hour. All right, we're going to make our way back, and I'll park this thing, and I'll tell you what my energy efficiency is since I've been driving it and chirping the tires. Like, it shouldn't be this good fuel efficient or energy efficiency, but as you can see, I'm not accelerating that fast anymore. I've done my acceleration. I just want to see what kind of efficiency we can eke out of this guy. I think what Toyota's, obviously the efficiency overall isn't better with the motors and whatnot. But I think one of the big improvements here is the recuperation of energy under deceleration. I think they've taken a big step there. So that is fantastic.